This video is catered to the brothers that are out there. The brothers that lost faith, the brothers that are angry, the brothers that are bitter, the brothers that are upset, the brothers that feel like their life has come to a complete halt and there's no moving forward. This video is for you guys. And, you know, I was once there too. In my perspective, early on in my life, and I lost hope a lot of times, man. I lost hope a lot of times, you know, with life. I lost hope in the way I saw myself in society. I lost hope with like what I saw I could achieve. I lost hope with a lot of things, man. But you guys don't realize that greater is He that lives within you than the evil that's in the world. In society, you shouldn't allow society to dictate your actions and your attitude on life. You shouldn't allow it to, like, you know, you shouldn't allow it to dictate, you know, your perspective to the point where you don't want to achieve much more than what society perceives of you. You know, but the reality of it is that, man, like, we need to be in the schools. We need to populate the schools more, not the prisons, man. You know, and yes, you can say that there are more cops out there, you know, predominantly in the communities that they quote unquote label as minorities, as opposed to the counterpartnering communities. But the reality of it is that it happens, man. Life doesn't care about the problems that we have. Life cares about what are we gonna do with the problems that we have, what type of solutions that we have for the problems that we're facing, what type of solutions are we going to come up with for the problems that we're going through, for the adversities that we're facing, for the challenges that we're facing. What are we going to do about it? That is going to be something positive. That's going to be something that's going to leave an impact on both our lives, our children's lives, our family lives, and most importantly, the lives of the people that we love, that we have love for. And it's sad because oftentimes when we get caught up in society's perspective of us, we lose hope, we lose faith, we lose ourselves, most importantly. But the reality of it is, my brothers, is that you've got to look deep within you and realize that society does not dictate you. Society does not determine who you're to become. You know, it's like Les Brown once said. Les Brown said, someone's opinion of you should not have to become your reality. And my brothers, to be honest with you, we've allowed too many people's opinions to become our realities. I'm talking about, man, like, it's so weird how you have society perceiving us in the future. You know, they calculate it based on the test scores of 4th graders on how likely they are to end up in prisons, man. You know, and you have to realize that they have a perspective that you know, that this is what's going to happen. This is our outcome. But we have to have a perspective of ourselves that our outcome is not going to be their outcome for ourselves, but our outcome is going to be the outcome that we perceive for ourselves on our own, based on our own intellect, based on our own goals, based on our own gifts. See, the weird part about it is that we have so many gifts within us, but we're not using it, man. We're not using this. We're not using this. We rather use this, but we're not using this. And this doesn't necessarily mean fighting. See, I was working one time for this retail store, this shoe store, and I'll never forget this. My manager, my supervisor, there was a shoe all the way at the top, and I was climbing up there, you know, all fast and stuff, trying to show off, you know, get the shoe to go out and give it to the customer. And one time he pulled me to the back and said, "Hey, Francois, let me talk to you right quick." And I was like, "What's up, Carlos?" And he said to me, he's like, "Francois, you have to work smart, not hard." And he says, you have to look before you react. And too often, my brothers, we're reacting before we think, before we even look at the situation, we're reacting to it. And that's the thing about it, is that we have to look at the situation we're facing, because sometimes it doesn't call for a reaction. It's the truth. Let's say, for instance, a cop stops you, pulls you over. Yeah, you're having an upset day. Yeah, you know, you had a lot of other things to do that day. Yeah, it's wrong that they stopped you. Maybe you didn't have anything wrong. Maybe everything was in check. Maybe you had your license, your registration was in check. Everything was up to par. But they still stopped you. And now you're upset. But the reality of it is, my brother, is that the outcome of that situation is 99.9%. Now, you can bash me on the percentage, but more than likely the outcome of that situation is determined upon you and your reaction to it. You have to realize that, yeah, that police officer, no matter who it is, what skin tone that police officer is, no matter what statue it is, but the whole point is that that police officer stopped you. Don't give him any more reason for him to act out aggressively towards you. Now, there are some situations where you can be completely innocent, your hands is in the air, and they still figure out some reason to provoke you, or still figure out some reason to make you a victim of their ignorance. But the reality is, my brothers, is that you have to realize greater is he that lives within you than the evil that's in the world. And God won't put you in a situation he knows you can't handle. You see what I'm saying? God will never put you in a situation he knows you cannot handle. But you have to look at it from a different perspective. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Most of you guys like your moms. Most of you guys have love for your moms. Most of you guys have love for your pops. Most of you guys have love for an auntie or an uncle, or for someone that always saw greater within you. But the reality of it is, if you want to give that person the same love that they've invested within you, you have to be willing to better yourself. Because the only reason why they invested the love within you is so you can better yourself. They didn't invest that love within you for you to just say, oh, thank you, and then do nothing with it. They invested that love within you because they saw something within you that you don't see for yourself yet. And once you turn your perspective, or once you shift your perspective from what society sees you as, and you see yourself for being a child of God, and you see yourself for being a child of God filled with potentials, or you see yourself being a child of God filled with so many gifts and so many goals and so many ambitions, once you see yourself as that, you have begun the first stage of shifting your perspective. And the second stage is basically acting out on those goals, those gifts, and those dreams, and the ambitions that you have. That's it. Listen, like I said again, society does not care about the problems that you're facing. Society does not care about how many things you've been through, about how many challenges you're facing, about how you finished one thing and then here's another problem, or you went through this problem. Now this society doesn't care about that. And the worst part about it, life doesn't care about that. Life only cares about what are the answers, or what are the solutions that you have to your problems. You don't have to answer to society. Society is what it is. It's gonna think what it wants to think. It's my firm belief, and I told my professor this the other day in class. I told my professor, I said, Professor, I don't really care what people perceive of me. I don't really care of what they think of me. Now, I'm not saying this as in, like, if people say, hey, you know, you should be more cautious as to what you're saying because it hurts my feeling, I'm not going to care about that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm not going to allow someone's negative thoughts or someone's ignorance to dictate my life, or to dictate my actions, to dictate my personality. I'm not going to allow it. I take most of the things that people say that don't know anything about me as a grain of sand. And that's the truth. But brothers, honestly, once you shift your perspective, you'll realize something tremendous is about to happen in your life. And this is not to give you false hope, or hope with a question mark and saying, well, what is the tremendous thing that's about to happen? That tremendous thing that's about to happen is the fact that you're changing. And you can't change anyone else. You can't change people. Remember, it's a full-time job changing yourself. You can't change anyone else like that. You owe it to yourself, man. You owe it to the people that have invested so much love, so much sweat, and especially, brothers, if you've lost a parent and you were close to them at first, you truly do owe them this. You owe them this, man. You owe them for you to change yourself. If you have a child, you owe that child's future a different new you. One that is better. One that is full of energy. One that is full of love. One that child can be proud of. You know, but I understand, my brother, that there are so many factors that come at play. You know, economic issues that come at play. But what we have to realize is that those are pebbles in an ocean. And we cannot trip on a small pebble in a vast ocean. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll explain the reasoning behind using the ocean as the analogy in a later video. But for right now, brothers, what I really want you guys to do is just shift your perspective. You know what? What I would like for you guys to do right now is something that I normally do when I'm going to the high schools and I do presentations. If you have right now, my brother, or brothers I should say, I would like for you to take a piece of paper. You don't have to share it with anyone. And I want you to write down one thing it is in life that you want. Whether it be one thing you want to achieve, one thing you want to become, one thing you want to do better, whatever it is, I want you to write down one thing right now on that sheet of paper. And I want you to take that sheet of paper and I want you to fold it into fours. Fold it into fours. And I want you to take that sheet of paper and stick it in the back pocket, in the back of your pants pocket. And the reason why I want you to do that is because at some point, I'm hoping, and at some point, the goal is at some point you're going to reach in your back pocket, whether it be today, tomorrow, 2 days from now, a week from now, a month from now, or whether you throw the pants in the washing machine and you forget about it and you're going through your pocket and you pull out that sheet of paper and you remember, like, wow, I remember this paper. I want you to think two things to yourself based on whatever it was that you wrote in that paper. I want you to ask yourself two things, not think two things, but ask yourself two things. Is what I'm doing right now helping me to reach this? And the second question I want you to ask yourself is, what can I do differently to reach this? But my brother, that's pretty much it. Much love to you guys. Stay strong. Keep your heads up. But you have to realize that it is possible. And you have to tell yourself that it's possible. Say, it's possible for me to change. It's possible for me to change. It's possible for me to change. Yeah. Well, with that being said, I want to tell you guys, keep your heads up. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. And the smile on the faces of the people that you love when they see the change, when they see you shift your perspective, will be worth it all. I assure you that. I make that promise to you. This is coming from personal experience. Alright, much love. Peace. Talk to you guys later.